Hey, welcome back to Dugout Thursday. Yes. We're trying to catch up here, and we finally caught up with the guy. Went up to Indianapolis. That's where we caught him. And we talked about Tyler Lyons, former standout pitcher here at Oklahoma State, now a member of the Pittsburgh Pirate organization. But before we get into that, I want to start off with the most important things. Congratulations to you and your wife. You've added another Lyons to the family.
I have. We, as of Monday, we added a second little girl. So for me, that's my now excuse for being like 2 minutes late calling you back. And
my excuse for not giving you any relief is that you and I have a long relationship that you knew I'd get on you for being 2 minutes late. That's you knew I was gonna...
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and then that this morning, whenever I thought, oh man, like I will not miss it. I won't be late because I don't want to hear the end of it. And then life caught up to me really fast this afternoon. I'm still making adjustments here.
Yeah, I know. Hey, being a daddy like that, but everybody's fine. Mama's fine, and everybody in the family's fine with the new addition, other than running around and changing your hours a little bit.
Yeah, no, everything's really good this go around. It's been much smoother than the first go around, and for me, my wife especially, the baby also. I don't want to jinx that and like go messing things up, but. This second time, the baby's she's been better so far, so we'll see.
You know what you're going to find out, Lyons, if you haven't found out already? You and Mama won't be near as what's the word? Alarmed, dramatic, guarded with baby number 2 as you were with baby number 1, because you know how it works. You know how it works after going through it one time.
I think that we've caught on to that a little bit already, and. But, yeah, I mean, with that going, and then also just the fact that this baby actually has eaten and slept in the first 2 days, I don't think number 1 did that at all. So, like, this has been a breeze so far.
Well, don't be pushing your luck. That's like talking about a no-hitter, okay? I mean, you just jinxed the no-hitter. And
I knocked on wood. It's okay.
You're gonna text me tonight and say, you remember what I said about sleeping all night?
Gosh, I hope
I've been up all night. What are you doing, incidentally? But I'll get back to you when I wake up. How's that sound?
Yeah, perfect.
Hey, let me ask you. You're on paternity leave, and this is a relatively new thing, isn't it? Really, paternity leave. I say relatively new. When did it come in, and when has it always been around, or did we not know that?
As far as I know, I mean, it's always been around, but I guess really that's only like been. For me personally, only a concern the last couple of years. But I think as far as I can think back, at least in my playing days, that people having kids, yeah, I mean, even back to 2013, I know people that were doing it. So I assume at least for a little while.
How long did they give you? I mean, I think it's a great idea myself. I mean,
3 days.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
So, yeah, so I mean, could be longer, I guess, or it could be shorter. I mean, it's yeah, it seems like it's okay. I got lucky. I had she came on an off day, and the team was leaving that day, so I'm kind of getting 4 days. So, yeah, it's okay.
And when are you supposed to get back into action here?
I'll fly out tomorrow morning to Rochester, New York, and kind of join the team there. They'll be there tomorrow, so I missed one little 3-day trip.
This seems almost not like the conversations we've had over the years, because seemingly every time we've talked up till this year, we've talked about the Cardinals, your trip through the system, and what you were doing with the big club. You've started, you're relieved, you had a lot of years with the Redbirds. Now you're with Pittsburgh on a free agent thing that happened last year. So far, how has that been?
Different. I think for my experiences, all the way up, like you said, it's always been talking about the Cardinals, that's who drafted me. That's all I ever knew. And you kind of figure out real quickly how it becomes a business once you become a free agent and, hoping for a job. And you kind of have this, like, feeling of when the Cardinals were the only thing I ever knew. That was like my comfort zone, and everything else, it was, who I'd grown my allegiances towards. And then really quickly one day I'm a free agent, and now I'm looking for a job anywhere I can get one. So it's been interesting. It's been fun to kind of see the differences and a lot of the similarities. throughout, the league and everything else. And but it's been an experience.
I've talked to a number of you I say ex-players here, but having played here, and some didn't, but about the business side of baseball. Long story short, and we talk about it being there. You all know going in, it's a business, and decisions are made maybe with not personal feelings in mind, but, I mean, it had to be a slap to you initially, wasn't it, when basically the Cardinals said, well, you're not part of the plans anymore?
Yes, to an extent, but I'm also a realist, and I guess just not being naive to everything and understanding the decisions that are made and the reasons they're made. I mean, not only did I have a tough year, performance-wise last year, but when you start kind of ending up on the DL, or I guess IL now, a couple times, it kind of, it's just one of those things where they're paying you more than the value you brought to the team, and you kind of understand that if you can be real with yourself and honest with yourself. And for me, that's kind of the point it got to there. When I look back at what I went through last year, there was a lot of times I didn't really know what I would have in the tank for this year as far as the physical side of things. I didn't have good stuff last year, and if I didn't find a way to get that back this year, then this was probably going to be it for me. I mean, I understood that if I didn't find a way to get back to doing what I had done before last year, that, it wasn't good enough stuff to be successful.
Well, you're in Indianapolis, the AAA club for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Do you still have, in your opinion, the stuff that you just talked about to kind of hang around and continue to get a paycheck, or have we reached the crossroads for you?
So I think I can say with confidence that I do have this stuff. I've had success here in Indy. I went up to Pittsburgh for a very short stint earlier in the year. But as a whole in minor league baseball, where my numbers look and the stuff that I feel like I'm putting out there is kind of been rejuvenating to my, mental state of mind of, you can still do this. Because last year going into the offseason, I wasn't sure. My stuff wasn't very good, and I kind of dove all into the workouts and all the stuff that I had done in the past, prior to the knee surgery and everything else. And so if I can't get it done, if I can't be better, I want to at least go out on my terms saying I tried to do everything, working out, the throwing program, everything that I had done before. And, it kind of came back. And so I think that I can confidently say, in self-evaluating myself, that I have some stuff left in the tank. Whereas if it looked like it did last year, then I would probably be hanging it up after this year. But it hasn't, so we'll see what we got.
I would think, again, relating this to the business side of baseball, now we're moving up on the trade deadline, and not only the trades made 1 for 1, a lot of times there's 1 for 2 or 3 or 4, depending on who's going and who's coming. Do you keep, I think we've had this conversation before, you always keep an eye on the trade deadline no matter who you are, but perhaps a little closer look at what's going on here with Pittsburgh, because I'll call it. This is not you saying it, but I'll say it. Pittsburgh, with all the injuries they've had, and the team they're putting on the field right now, especially on the mound, they've lost 4 in a row, and they haven't looked good losing 4 in a row. Period, to the Cardinals. They don't look like guys are going to get it done the rest of the year. Does the Lions name maybe flow around a little bit? Maybe if a deal's made.
I don't know. I don't think there's a ton of people searching out there for a 31-year-old guy that's kicking it around in AAA. But at the same time, I think the one thing I probably would have going for me, obviously you need the right people to see you on the right night, and everything else is, teams always have a value for left-handed pitching, and I've had success in the past, but especially this year, against left-handers, and I have good numbers this year. And so obviously a lot of things have to align, but I guess there's always a chance for something, and that's probably the best bet I have. That would be potentially something that could be good for my career. So who knows? I don't follow it too closely just because I don't have any say in it. So I try to just, the whole cliche thing of control what you can control. But That's kind of what I try to do.
You know, Mercer put me straight on this one point here at one time when I asked him, well, anybody say anything to you about this? He said, they don't say anything to you until they decide to say something to you. So they don't lead you to believe that, A, you could be part of a trade, or B, that you're part of coming up to the Pirates again before the season's over. It's pretty much you go every day without hearing from it, and if you do, then you just adjust, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he's pretty spot on that one. I don't think the information is passed down the pipeline per se very far. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that I'm sure they have lots of internal discussions and this and that. We don't know anything until that day or that transaction or whatever happens.
I got to ask you this, I'm going to let you get back. Are you feeding the baby? Are you holding the baby? What are you doing? Rocking the baby while we're talking? What are you doing here?
I'm sitting out on the patio right now. We have like a 2-bedroom apartment here. It's fairly small. It's nice enough. It's convenient to locate at the field, but it's definitely not big. And my in-laws are here as well. They brought the RV up, and they come and they make our life so much easier. But it gets pretty tight in there when there's 5 of us. I guess really 6 of us now, just hanging out. So I came out to the patio. We'll have a conversation, just enjoying some fresh air.
You may end up on a patio more than you know before everything's said and done.
I think we all take our turns going to the patio just to take a little breather.
Hey, you got a lot of things going for you now, but I don't know if you come back. You obviously can follow it on the internet and all that. But the new stadium's coming along, so to speak. The old Brate Stadium for here at Oklahoma State. Next year at some time OSU will be in it. There will be some area for former players and things that guys are staying in shape during the off season. But what have you been able to tell from a distance? I mean, obviously you wish you could play in this thing, but you won't.
Yeah,
so.
You bet. I'm pretty sure they told me that it was going to be ready like my junior year of college, or maybe even sophomore year. But
Lyons, I am so glad you said that, because you just validated what I have been saying for a couple of years. I think Frank went out and took the plans for a stadium to about 2 generations of recruits, and there was never a stadium. So thank you, Tyler Lyons.
Yeah, that was a big recruiting tool back then, and about 05, 06. So glad to see it finally get finished. So no, I've looked at I think the best view I've seen of it, just kind of coming to life, is just following Josh on Twitter, and he puts out the little videos that it went from being a bunch of dirt to oh my gosh, now it's actually starting to really take shape, and it looks obviously second to none and amazing. I can't wait to see all the stuff inside and everything else that's going to come with it. I mean, that's a big deal around there, and big in college baseball, and it's going to be cool to see.
Well, hopefully you got a lot more to do over the next 3, 4, 5 years than to come back and visit. But if you do, they still welcome you in Lubbock, or do you have to call ahead and say you're coming in? I mean, and warn everybody.
To Lubbock?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good for about 1 trip a year to Lubbock. It's usually either Thanksgiving or Christmas. Ideally, I would rather everyone just come
to you.
It's I still try to play we're away from our house so much, and we don't like to travel in the off season. Come to us. So Lubbock is maybe once a year kind of trip. I would prefer everyone just come see us.
Spoken like a true left-hander. I can just tell you right now.
Okay.
Hey, we'll follow you, man. Again, congratulations to you and your wife. That was the main gist of the call, making sure that everything's going well. And, yes, you will be a busy man. And, hey, keep me posted on any of the conversations behind the scenes and all that stuff, and we'll follow you. Okay?
Yep. I'll be up there this fall sometime to watch some football. And I got to find a way to get back to my plan too. I want to come to a college basketball game again this year. I think they're going to be good too. They're fun to watch.
Lyons, just let me know when you're coming, okay? We'll take care of that.
I will.
All right.
Perfect.
All right, buddy. Hey, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good talking to you.
Okay, bye-bye. Tyler Lyons.